So it's a little mix of all three, but
Mm.
there's just one large up here. If you had a large, this would be a good place to stick it.
That's what she said.
That's a that's a perfect place to end that segment.
You set him up, I knock him down.
Welcome to Around the Corn, presented by the Knights Guild. Thanks for tuning in. Please like and subscribe because getting the likes and subscriptions makes us so happy here at Around the Corn. If you want to hear us speculate wildly on something in-game, throw your questions in the comments, and next episode we will pretend to know the answer. Follow us and the Knights Guild on X. You can learn a ton about the Knights Guild on Discord and the Guild website. All the links you need are in the description. I am your host, Faux Hubris, and as always, I'm joined by the man who's always flying high, even without a jetpack, Eddy Z. How's it going, buddy?
Yeah, man, it's a great time for games, man. I can't wait for this season. I'm gonna be playing this and Call of Duty. It's gonna be great, man.
tis the season for games, is it not?
Yeah.
Like the best games are always coming out around Christmas time. I think it's
100%.
like so, and not surprisingly, we got this build that's coming up and probably one more build this year. I was listening to a Kopi Cafe, yesterday at this point, and I was just like, give me the build. I want it so bad. I'm more excited about this one than any build. And we probably say that every build, but
yeah, this was a really good Kopi Cafe, wasn't it? Huh?
Yeah.
Right? Like,
the costume. Like, my God, Rob is Rob a makeup artist?
Yeah,
wow.
Dude. It's almost like someone just dipped them in like a white paint, and then all he had to do was just add his like lips and the eyebrows, and then just put on a costume pumpkin outfit, and he's all set. That was really well done, I will say. I can only imagine how scared his dog is right now,
because his dog is who's this weird man in makeup,
just nonstop barking.
You know what we should do? Maybe we should go back and find all the Halloween Kopi cafes that they've done and do a grading or an escalation of their costumes, because it seems like as the project has grown, their desire to do more interesting costumes has increased as well. So
yeah, and it's I wish Josh had gotten his costume.
Oh, it would have been so good. Oh my God, it would have been so good. Yeah, that's hopefully maybe we can get. Maybe I demand when the costume comes in, I demand we get our money's worth and we see the costume in a future episode.
Yeah.
I mean, Bob Ross is great. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
but I wanted to see the Burger Barn stuff. So
it's just funny because also like it made me laugh that David had that mask on, right, and then he clearly it made me laugh when he was like, I'm not used to having a beak, because he went like he like knocked his beak off, like I was like, oh shit.
But you know what's funny is David's natural voice in that costume. They don't go well together, or they go great together, depending on like it's like
it's all in the narrative. It's all in what he says, right?
Because he could be terrifying talking that way if he wanted to be, but when he's just talking about the game, it's not as quite as scary.
Right, exactly.
But I really enjoyed the costumes and the effort they put into it. That was great.
Yeah, that and the fact that it was like, apparently it was like he wore the entire outfit, so he was like blazing hot,
head to toe.
Yeah, he was probably gonna pass out, and if it had gone on for another 20 minutes.
So Eddy, the Knights Guild, we got a couple pieces of information to get out here. That we're all disappointed that the mint didn't happen. Understandably, there are hiccups, whatever the case may be. They got it all sorted out, and we should be getting the mint next week. The referral link for the Knights Guild is really important. People take advantage of it. That's everyone in the Knight Guild. Hopefully they do, and they can help support the guild. But even if you're not in the guild and you're, but you kind of like, benefit from having these guilds a little bit with the activities that we're going to be doing and the things that we have going on. So, if you don't mind helping out, we really appreciate it. Using that referral link, Eddy. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, it's just a click of a link, right? So it's just to help out the Knights to further their, their influence in just not even just Cornucopias, but just like gaming and Web3 in general, because like we also have that proposal out.
Yeah, so
as well.
we have three proposals that have been announced. So the three proposals they've got going on, they're redoing the one that they did last time for the tournament bracket builder, which everyone kind of understands for the Cardano ecosystem, where any game can use it and build tournaments, between players. We would be able to use it as, around the corn. If you want to do it around the corn tournament on Cardano, Mafia can use it, Knights Guild can use it. It's going to be for anybody, for any game on the network, which is, I think, a really great idea. This one I think is really interesting. The other one, the player ID system for Cardano, identity, privacy, and using Midnight. That one is really interesting because we're all excited about Midnight and Cardano, and it uses the Midnight system to where we can verify that we are of a certain age, that we maybe in the future more mature games want to come on. And we've talked about it for this Cornucopias as well, with maybe domes being able to like kind of age gatekeep. This is how they're going to do it with this ID system for Cardano and Midnight, which is really awesome. And then the adaptive asset contracts for Cardano, which is my understanding of it is that there is it's like a management system for game assets in Cardano. So by the time this podcast launches, they'll all be out. So there'll be links in the description. Definitely go give it a listen to. You don't have to watch the video, just listen so you understand these proposals, what the Knights Guild is doing in the Cardano space. I think people in every guild, or without a guild, is going to be interested in this stuff, because it's really going to help actually elevate the entire Cardano ecosystem into more of a game-friendly space, and that helps all of us, Eddie. I think we all understand that.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to come. I mean, I definitely recommend watching those videos to kind of understand what we're trying to do.
Yeah, it's really nuanced.
More in depth.
Yeah.
Because it can go over someone's head as to why, and that's why we really stress, like, to help the Knights Guild. And I would even also like if and in terms of showing like respect to other guilds, if there were ever anything that the Corn Mafia were trying to do as well, I would also push for them as well, like help them out, help the Knights out. I think it's also in the early stages. I know there were different guilds, but I hats off to the Corn Mafia and what they're trying to do as well, and on their end, and what we're trying to do. So I think it just shows that if my thing is, I know reaching out to you Corn Mafia people as well. It's just like help us with this particular,
please,
with using our link as well. I know I'm not sure if you guys have your link as well. I'm assuming you guys do as well. So, but I think no matter what, whoever is not in a guild, definitely try to support one or the other. I think it's going to help overall.
Yeah. That's fair. Yeah, you don't. I will say that if you're not in a guild and you want to, and definitely just use the affiliates link. Whether it's Knights use the Knights link, Mafia use the Mafia link, and if you're not in a guild, you or one of the other guilds links, use all of them. Help grow. Maybe you'll be a Mafia person one day. Maybe you'll be a Knights person one day. But definitely use those links, and definitely with your ability, if you hold ADA and you can vote, and you agree with the Knights proposals to help Cardano gaming system, definitely, we'll make sure everyone knows how to register for the Catalyst proposals, and that, you use your ADA to vote, because that's why we all have ADA for those proposals. It's really important that we all come together as a community. It's not about Knights or Mafia when we're trying to grow Cardano. It's just about Cardano, right? So
and even shout outs to other guilds like what is it, G2G, and there's also
there's Empire's Guild. Well, no, that's the Empire's Guild, and there's no Paris Guild, the Bag Guild.
Bag Guild.
I don't mean to forget about all the other guilds.
There's plenty of them, but and they're all trying to do their own certain things. And I think if there are affiliate links, and if you get some sort of knowledge or some sort of anything from any of these guilds in terms of like helping you to make decisions, or I feel like it's kind of nice to just it's just an easy click of a link to take you to the exact same website for you to mint.
Easy. Eddie, where are we today, man?
Right now, we are in Solace 3. It's a beautiful day out here in Solace. I think it's probably, I would guess, maybe about 69 degrees.
69, 70 degrees, yeah.
Nice. It hasn't rained in a while. I was kind of nervous about that. It's quite a bit of a dry season right now. We're on the west side of Ivy Creek, which we were in this district last time in our last podcast last week. We were in Crystal Falls. And, of course, northwest of Crystal Falls, we have Laurel Hill. and in the middle, practically, Ivy Creek stretches all the way from the west side of the like in the center of Solace 3, and it stretches all the way to Laurel Hill.
This might be the most spread out town in all three of the Solaces, I think. I mean, that's, an interesting
because
fact
yeah,
about
and
this town.
and it's all based on the land plots and what they're what district they're tied to. So if you go to each land plot, you can see which district they belong to.
Yeah.
But it is beautiful. I'm not gonna lie. This is actually one of my.
Yeah.
I'm starting to. I really like it as I'm really traversing through it. And just to we'll show you different ways to get around. I'll show a path. There is, of course, thankfully, we'll have some jetpacks coming our way. But for those who don't have the jetpacks or aren't able to get a jetpack, or even for people who are just trying to understand the landscape, there is a path that you can kind of zigzag up here.
Yeah.
Up to the.
I mean, it is limited supplies. I mean, even though there's I think everyone here might be able to get one who wants one, but if comes 6 months from now, that might not be the case.
Yep, and I'm going down this path right now so you guys can see. But yeah, I will say it does kind of make me nervous, right? In terms of because I always thought I liked the whole traversing areas. I like the fact that there was a little bit of difficulty in getting around. And now we're gonna have these jetpacks, and I'm kind of making a little nervous. Does it make is it
going to be too easy to get around?
Should the jetpack had been the first mint? What do you think about that? Or should it have been
I think
hoverboards or
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because I think because in this scenario, you have to balance probably player happiness when they're playing, that you really run the risk of them frustrating and being I can't even get up this mountain here, I don't want to play, but but for the long-term health of the game, I mean, I know you watched more of the after party than I did. I had it on the screen, but I couldn't listen to it, and I was watching Rob fly around. One thing I noticed about it is it didn't really increase your speed of movement all that much, but it did help you navigate the space better, which I think is really interesting because they seem to be aware that the jetpack could be like a cheat code for the game, and one thing I think that they did was that I remember. I think I heard a little bit. This was, I think, from the Kopi Cafe, that the jetpacks have very little pack space. So if you're wearing a jetpack, you might not be able to go mining with a jetpack because you need to bring your pickaxe or something like that, right? So there's going to be all kinds of little quirks, and then they even well, we'll get into the other stuff later, but it seems like they have lots of who knows how much of this is going to work, and it might need to be adjusted when we get into the game. But they seem to have put a lot of thought into each item, how they fit together, and what those items actually do to the gameplay. I think I have a lot of faith that they've tried to solve the problems before we get to them, and the problems that arise that they didn't foresee, they'll address when they arise.
Yeah, I guess you're right about the capacity thing. So it really depends on what kind of objectives and missions they have and quests they have going on, right? So maybe there are some hard to reach places that you can't get there with without a jetpack, but then there might be certain times where you're going to want to for mining, for example. You're gonna need those slots to carry certain items, but you don't necessarily need to jetpack anywhere.
Yeah, I was excited when David was talking about fighting and he used the word tank. If you're a more tank player, the gear is going to be relevant. The weight that you're carrying. Not all players are gonna if you're on Call of Duty right now and you have a whole ton of equipment on you. If you have the heaviest gun, the heaviest machine gun, you're running the same speed, I think, right, as everybody else, right?
Right, yeah.
And that's kind of BS. That's not reality. So if you're a heavier person and you're fighting a quantum monster, and let's say the quantum monster makes the ground beneath your feet break and it causes damage, the tank is going to have a harder time getting away from it. That's how it should be. The more they use the word rogue, the more rogue type player is going to want to have a small pack, be really lightweight, light armor, so I think that's really interesting because they talked about fighting mechanics that they're starting to get into, so they're already thinking about this kind of stuff. I'm excited. I mean, that's exciting.
Yeah, it is. I really can't. I'm so excited for this. I can't wait to traverse a little bit more, get to these hard to reach places, get to peaks of mountains as well. Real quick, let's swim across this water here.
quote unquote swim across.
But yeah, just real quick, just touching back on the Ivy Creek in general. But to the south of us, you have some a little bit more towns, which we're not going to go towards. We're actually heading right now towards the metro station, which is kind of you will notice as we're walking that it's surrounded by cliffs on either side. So it's a very narrow path to get to the metro station. So there is similar to Crystal Falls where there's a separation with like cliffs and all that. The same similar thing is happening here with Ivy Creek.
One thing we'll say about this is that, and maybe this is one of those places that is not finished yet, but I will say, in terms of beauty, this place rocks. But in terms of like resources, I don't see a lot. I haven't seen a lot around here.
Yeah, good point. Because like we did notice that as you can notice on the map, there's not really much fishing and mining. You do have to travel out. So I'm kind of curious, as you just said, is this a location that in the next build will have more fishing? Because clearly we just swam across, quote unquote, swam across the lake there, so that there should be a fishing spot there, right? You would think.
There's a ton of land plots here, and it's spread out, so it does seem
spread out,
and there's plenty of cliff space where you could stick a mine almost anywhere. So I wonder if that's in the plans, or if there's going to be other values to this place besides the resource opportunities here. There's still so much that we have to learn about all these locations.
No, just thinking about this particular lamp plot. Wow, this is a big lamp plot right here. This must be an epic or a Copious.
Yeah, it's never a corn. Every time I think it's a Copious, it's always an epic. Like it's kind of hard to find the Copiouses. Let's see.
What is that?
It's an epic. Yeah,
it's an epic. Okay. Yeah, Copiouses aren't too common. There's probably like about 240, 280 of them. I can't remember the quantity, but it's.
Oh, you're gonna come. I jumped down. You're coming down the ramp there.
Yep. Yeah. Yep, I'm coming down the ramp just to kind of showcase the path you can use to get up there.
But I can see all kinds of situations where you actually still have to use these roads and ramps where it's not always going to be about jetpacking around.
Yeah, so this is the path right here to get up here, which I'm going to show them on the map real quick. You can kind of stay to the left here and then just climb up. This is where now you can go this way, which is the path that you get to go to the other half of Ivy Creek. But then if you go up this way, the cool thing, and I'm going to go ahead and expose this particular lamp plot for those.
Oh yeah, you like this lamp plot up here, right?
Yeah, it's a good one. So I mean, I'm probably not gonna grab it, but for those of you who can't go into the game right now just because of limitations of just maybe you have a console or you just don't have a PC that can run this game properly, I'm just going to go ahead and showcase this lamp plot. It's a large lamp plot. It is 40 lamp plot 006266 42 Ivy Creek. Look at this view. Yeah, it's smack dab in the center of Ivy Creek. Overlooking both the west and the northeast side of Solace. Look at this. Look how amazing this view is.
Yeah.
And then you're going to be looking over on the northeast over this way, over the towns that are going to be in this narrow path that we're talking about right here. That leads all the way up to the trains. Actually, you can even see the train station from here, the metro station from here. Seems like this town is going to have to definitely build a bridge just looking at the view here from this large land plot that we were looking at. Because clearly you can swim across, but unless you have a jetpack, right? You can kind of jetpack across. But it seems like this Ivy Creek is separated into 4 different sections. You got the west side of West Creek, and then you have the right side, which is where we're headed towards right now. That kind of has this narrow path that leads up to the train station, and then you have the path up above north of that, above the in the cliffs, and then you have the farther side that leads over to Laurel Hill. So it's kind of interesting. And then as we're going to go ahead and through this narrow path leading up to the train station, we're going to come up to a hill, which goes back to us talking about resources, of that there's not really much fishing going on here unless they update it, right? So I think let's go ahead and continue on this path here, and we'll go towards that tunnel, which is that tunnel that everybody should take note for anybody who's trying to get a lamp plot here in Ivy Creek.
Yeah, the tunnel seems like it's really going to be useful. I don't know. Maybe there's more resources on the other side of that tunnel. I don't think a lot of people know about it, that it's over here.
Yeah, and we can also post a map. Like I have a map that does have all the paths as well, and you'll see what tunnel we're talking about on that map. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and showcase that. Let's just make our way up there.
This is the tunnel you were talking about, eh? Right here.
Yeah, this is the tunnel that basically, I know there's not many fishing locations in the area, but if you do go through this tunnel,
I don't want to go in there. It looks scary for Halloween.
it
I
does
like it.
yeah.
I mean, this is if there's the haunted house. I mean, this is the haunted tunnel right here.
Yeah, if you scan it, it does kind of look kind of ominous.
I know.
Like there should be
There's
like
like
a
ghosts going down the tunnel.
like an ominous howl.
Yeah, but it does show you that they put a lot of thought into like travel. Like there's multiple paths every way, to get somewhere. Maybe not always in a straight line, but it does get you where you want to go.
Yeah. And again, this is going to be the solution for you Ivy Creekers out there in order to start looking for fishing locations. Because this, at the end of this tunnel, this leads to those bodies of water that have.
Oh,
So
yeah,
looking at the map, there's 4 different fishing locations, and if you go further south, there is a mining location. But it's still a trip, so it's not the easiest. So I do hope you guys get a fishing location, a fishing spot at the bodies of water that we swam across.
I hope you had your flashlight on while you're in here because I didn't.
I did, yes.
Okay, good. Okay. I was like, I don't think it's gonna make good video for the fans
Yeah.
if I'm just like running in the dark and it's like you can't see anything.
Yeah, man, I'm a Boy Scout, man. Come prepared.
I want to save my battery.
That's actually kind of interesting, right? In terms of I never think of that in terms of battery life.
I'm my baby,
There she is. If you scan, there's fishing on the right. Yeah.
Is that all that's over here is fishing?
Yep. Fishing.
I see it right there. Let's go look.
Then further south is mining, but it's way further south.
Fishing is going to be really interesting because they're going to have so many. I mean, maybe not at first, but I could see that's like 3 years down the road, and like there's 100 different species of fish like you're trying to find in different zones, only in certain pools, certain times a day, certain times a year. It's just going to be.
Yeah, and certain. Yeah, you're right. You're definitely right about that. In certain different types of fish, and
yeah, this looks like a really secluded hole too. Like, look how small this is compared to some of the other ones we've seen.
Yeah.
And I see the next one over here too. I wonder if this is like considered 2 different fishing holes. Like this one's gonna have different breed of fish, and this one over here is gonna have another. It's interesting. Look at. I found this is like another path up. Is this like the high road to like the we took the tunnel under, but does this path lead up and over?
Oh yeah, look, there's a path that goes up, right?
Yeah, this is like this is like we took the tunnel, but I bet you this takes the up and over to that other path that's that kind of the same steepness over on the other side. So there's like multiple ways over here.
It also makes me wonder how much again, I always go back to the terraforming. How much can we really like excavate and help flatten out certain locations?
Yes. Take all these. What's that? Strip mining. Where they bring down the entire mountains. I'm all about it.
Yeah, like, and I'm curious, there has to be some limitations, right? I mean, because like I know in other games that there is the possibility of like making too many edits that it's like there's too much being changed that the game ends up like not working.
Yeah.
It
just takes you right over, Eddie.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. Now we're right back we're right back between the almost back to where the train station is.
Good discovery. So this is a good way to get up to the to that upper section of town. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah. So
like
this
10 lamp pots that are up there?
Yeah. This is like the VIP lounge we were talking about, I think.
Yeah.
Up here. Well, I don't know. Not right. Hold on. Maybe this is above it. Maybe right below it. That should be a ledge down here, I think, somewhere. Yeah, but they're definitely like. I mean, if you look right here, when you get up to me, like, I mean, a bridge from here to here seems really nice. Like a really nice idea. It almost looks like it's ready to have a bridge.
Yeah. Yeah, similar to that like lake, because they're even though it looks like there's land on that map where you swam across, it looks like it was like meant to be a bridge there as well.
Yeah, I'll wait for you to get.
I'm almost there. Oh, yeah,
because if you look right across, it's like perfect for a bridge here.
Oh wait, did I actually go? I went the other way. I thought I was chasing my icon.
I've done that so many times hanging out with you, where I'm just going after the wrong icon. If you get this whole little ledge up here, I bet you that would be really cool if you had like a medium and like 6 smalls.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I think I might get at least a small lamp lot in here in this town. This place is actually
Okay,
kind of
so
nice.
it's actually a large, and then what are these ones?
It also would be nice to be here just because as it is in the center of like Solace. Like, I mean, I know it's more north, but it's still in technically center, similar to like Orange Falls in Solace 2.
Yeah, so there's a medium here. So it's large, smalls, and mediums. I don't know how many mediums there are. Another one. So it's a little mix of all three, but there's just one large up here. If you had a large, this would be a good place to stick it.
That's what she said.
that's a perfect place to end that segment.
You set him up, I knock him down.
The ground is a little bit rockier here than when we first started, where it was really green. And we didn't mention we were over there. I thought that looked like, before we started filming, I thought that would look like good farmland. I wonder how much that's going to matter, because this doesn't seem as like the potential for farmland here, because it's a little bit rockier. It doesn't, at least the way I see it, doesn't seem as strong. But I wonder how easy, if it's going to be harder to farm here than it would be there, based on like the slight rockiness.
You know what? If there's just call Eddy Z Landscaping Service. We'll go ahead and help
Eddy Z.
Eddy Z's Landscaping Service. Just go ahead, go right ahead, and we'll fix that up for you.
It'd be like,
we'll make the land fertile for you.
Yeah, are quantum weeds driving you crazy? Well, we'll use our quantum weed whacker to come take it down a little bit. Quantum weed whacker next mint, I hope.
All right, let's go. Let's make our way over to the train station, headed north, and then I kind of do want to see. I'm gonna stop real quick and show the map. I kind of want to go into this location over here, so we're gonna head up north, past the train station, and then kind of make our way around to see that other half of Ivy Creek that we can't get to. That's up. It seems to be up above the cliffs. Similar to Crystal Falls.
Yeah. This town. I mean, this town is so spread out. I thought when we got here, I thought it was two different towns, and then I realized that it's not.
Right. Yeah. Same. Yeah. Exactly. It's so spread out. That's when I was like surveying everything. I was very surprised of how spread out Ivy Creek is. It's very spread out. It's in the center, so in a way, it's kind of advantageous. I don't know. Maybe it's a disadvantage too, because there's got to be a con to it in terms of protecting each other, right? Like if let's say everybody wants to help out, and let's say there's a quantum monster that's attacking that outer northeast section of towns.
It takes everyone a long time to get there.
It's going to take a lot of time for people to get support. So that's so you have to also think about that in case you do want to get some of those lamp plots that are up north, closer to Laurel Hill.
They had a lot of other stuff that David brought up, but the thing that I thought that was most interesting was like this Nexus system. Do you remember that, Eddie? What they were talking about?
Yeah, it's crazy that David mentioned they asked him like, so what's next? He like went on like 10 different things, I swear. Like, and it's like, my God, he ran through it like real quickly, right? And I was like, that's a lot. Like,
imagine what we could do in 2 hours with David. What we could get out of him. Oh my God!
Was like, that is quite a lot of stuff. Like, it's a lot.
Yeah.
He did bring up that what's it called, the Nexus system.
The Nexus system. So the way I understood it, it wasn't fully clear, but the way I internalized it was this kind of like almost like a locker or safe system where I mean, it's just the Cornucopias version of it, where it's like, where instead of like having a locker or a safe, basically it's like a central location where it like shoots you your equipment. So you have your equipment sitting in storage somewhere, and you're like, go to your Nexus thing, and you're like, okay, and so I don't want to have to go all the way back to my house to get it. So I'm going to be like, bloop, bloop, bloop. And I'm going to have, shoot my pickaxe to me or something, or shoot my new armor to me or something.
Yeah, no. And they even showed an image of it, which we'll show right here, but it looks like a locker system, I guess. Like, exactly. I'm kind of very curious how the mechanics of it work. Does it automatically just get placed in your inventory? Do you have to pick
Is it free to use? I mean, I wonder, is it going to cost in-game currency every time you want to use it?
Yeah, and you're right. I'm curious, right? Because to me, it just reminds me of like the Pokemon PC type of thing, right? Where you go in there, you store all your stuff there, and then whenever you need to swap things out, you basically go to this Nexus system, which is kind of cool. I'm
I,
curious how far out, because he mentioned it's only right now. He mentioned Toledo. I'm curious if it's going to be in any other locations, such as like these towns,
yeah, I think there's
town
gonna
centers.
definitely there's gonna probably be in like definitely centralized locations. I think.
Yeah, which I would assume the town centers, as we just passed the town center, which was
Hmm.
not built right now, right? So I would assume that that's part of it. That's going to be there. I'm curious what the town centers are going to bring. Just like it reminds me again, just like as referencing Pokemon, like where you have the Pokemart and you have the Poke Center. I'm
Hmm.
curious, like if there's going to be a medical location, a marketplace, and obviously these locker Nexus System things that
Yeah.
work. That'd be cool.
Or maybe there isn't, and it's something that we have to earn, as part of our district. Maybe it's like, what's the first thing you guys want to build? Do you want to build a medical center, or do you want to build a Nexus center? Maybe
Yeah.
every district is going to have to vote on that.
Yeah. And this is really nice. I'm like scanning while I'm going through these paths, and you have to
Yeah,
like zigzag through this northeast section here to get to the metro station.
it's
But
like a
it's like,
town. It makes you feel not as packed together as in some places. It makes you still feel
yeah,
spread out. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, exactly. Because it's a narrow path, but yet it's still roomy. Like
yeah,
I feel it doesn't feel congested. That's actually kind of cool. I like that. I'm taking a liking to Ivy Creek.
yeah. I mean, but that's also like the whole recency bias for us, because it seems like every time we go to a location, we're like, "This is our favorite." It's so hard to choose. They're all so good.
Wait, do people have to go through here? Oh, it looks like the path. No.
There's two paths. I'm
Oh,
on
there's a
one right
path
here that's
this
going
one.
zigzagging up. It looks like, but there's also one that goes up the hill here. So
Okay. Yeah, no, I was thinking about, I thought people had to go through this land plot to get to where we were going, but no, there's a path on the right-hand side here.
yeah, I was gonna see if we go up here and we could come look over that. There's some land plots. I think they're up on the ledge here. If we can find our way up there and see what those ones are like.
Yeah, well, let's see if you can get up there, let me know. I thought you had to go all the way around the cliff, but if you find a route that way, that'd
There
be
is
cool.
there is a route. I mean, sometimes in these routes you end up at dead ends, but so far I keep managing my way up.
Oh,
I mean, I don't
oh,
know. I found a little
keep
shortcut
going.
jumped on the rocks.
Yeah, keep going. I'm gonna go around the long way just to kind of
Okay, see, so
showcase this way.
you'll take it from two different directions and see who gets there
Yeah,
first.
and then they also talked about the new purple racetrack, which they did show. Oh man, I can't wait for that. Honestly, like I really want to. I want to smoke racer like so bad.
The I'm curious to see, like, I mean, they do hype it up where they talk about that the track is really nuanced, and I am excited to see that. Especially, it'll be interesting too, because my guess is like there'll be a new racing tournament, and it's gonna be interesting because it's probably gonna be all on a new track with, and no one has really raced it before. So the people who've been racing probably will have a leg up, but it'll maybe even the playing fields quite a bit for people who have been like falling behind in their racing skills to
Yeah,
start on a new track.
yeah. I of course I'm calling racer out, but no, he actually recently. I don't know if you saw this, but like he in the Cornucopias Discord, he actually decided to set up his own little challenge for himself. He made like the top. He made it so that he is the top 100 top lap races for. I think it was one of the tracks. I think I want to say it's the yellow track, maybe. So like if you go into the leaderboards, he's the
It's
top. His name is the 100 all 100 place
oh my
top races.
god.
So you have to go like a few pages to until you get to the next racer.
That's I mean
Hats off to Racer. He's a beast.
I mean that's funny. That's exactly the kind of like like the I don't not pettiness isn't the right word, but that's definitely like the kind of like the arrogance that I would show if I was as good as him at racing. I'd be like, why stop at 100? Let's make it 1,000.
Yeah, he like wiped everybody off the pages. He's just like it's the Racer show.
It's like going to like Mount Rushmore and just replacing all the president's faces with your own.
Yeah, basically. I was like, okay, Racer, I see how it is.
I think I made it up top here. I'm trying to
Did you
find these
now?
land
Okay,
plots, but
great. That's awesome. Actually, you found the route that I didn't know.
yeah, it's like you have to. I think you have to jump up the rocks a little bit, but it wasn't that hard. Sometimes you have to like
Okay,
really get lucky on those rocks to jump up, but I was able to do it pretty easily.
gotcha. And plus, like, obviously, you will have jetpacks at that point, right? So
Yeah,
they won't even. It would really not be that. I mean, but then again, for those people who won't have jetpacks and have to earn their jetpacks at some point, or create their own jetpacks, uh, they'll have to take that route, and at least they know that they can at least jump
That was the other thing I
around.
was thinking about jetpacks, because like we all hope that, like, okay, let's say they marketing goes amazing, and like, come July 2025, the game is on Epic, and there's no
Mhm,
like limiter at that point. Like it's no $10 to play. And
mhm,
maybe they will to keep it limited. For how who knows how long they'll do that for. But like, let's say that all the gates are off, floodgates are open, and
mhm.
we're sitting here with like 80,000 people playing, and there's only like 20,000 jetpacks that were minted. They're certainly not going to do like, all right, let's do a 60,000 mint jetpack, right? Like that's not happening. So maybe, in the early going here, the jetpacks are really valuable. Maybe they're because, like, people are going to be coming in playing the game. I want to buy a jetpack, or maybe it's like crafting jetpacks becomes really valuable too.
Yeah, because you're right. I feel like not everybody's going to be able to just get one. So that was also my worry, right? So that does kind of put me at ease, just because like I feel like people, they're part of the fun, in my opinion, is to explore,
Mhm.
right? And just
Right.
and there are and to have those limitations of, oh man, I have to figure out how to get around this cliff. I want to get over there. It's that's, to me, that's part of the fun. Like imagine like I don't know, like, because I also thought that there would be like, you know a a climbing aspect to this game as well, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
To where you have to actually still, like, if you were to have a backpack, you should still be, and not have a jetpack because you have to carry things. I would assume that there's got to be some sort of climbing
Yeah.
feature
Well,
added to the game.
I remember. I think we were on LGC Josh's live, or maybe it was even before when we were talking about it. Where I said, when the Solace first came out, and I was trying to jump up a mountain, and I was like, yeah, this is cool, but it doesn't. But it feels silly because that's not how you would
Hmm.
mountain climb. And
Yeah,
I asked him if there was any talk of like a mechanic where, like in kind of like Assassin's Creed, where you would jump up, grab, and pull yourself up. And I do think that's been, he's said that things like that have been discussed. So
yeah.
maybe, and I mean, and I know mountain climbing is supposed to be part of it. So
Mm.
maybe, there'll be competitions and speed competitions for people who have the fastest route up a mountain without a jetpack, kind of thing.
Yeah, and I hope it's done, because like one of the things that a lot of gamers, including myself, really like about certain games is how your own character maneuvers through its environment. And if it's not like, I mean, while I do like how we run and all this stuff, it's not perfect. I've seen some people in the suggestions that say, fix the movement here and there, because
Yeah.
it is a little, a little like the arm swinging. It looks very robotic, I guess, is what everybody's saying. Like when it comes out to walking
You
and
mean there's like
I
there's no variance in their step?
yeah, like,
Yeah.
actually, what would be cool, is if if we were able to, at some point, we were able to choose the style of walk that we get to choose
Oh
like
yeah, that
five
would be
different
cool.
styles of walking. Like if you want to have that thug walk, right, where you kind of do that, that lean, or you have like a more robotic walk, or you have a little pep in your step. Like, I'm curious if they can do like different styles of walking.
But
To
also
that.
right now there's no difference in, I mean, speed going uphill or downhill, right? So I think there's
Hmm.
opportunities there for more realism,
Hmm.
like what
Yeah.
are you slower over certain kind of terrain, like the rocky terrain, you're slower, the grassy flat terrain, you're on a street, you're
Yeah.
running fastest, but if you're on grass, maybe you're running a little slower. Like, so maybe, I mean, and I could see that
Or
probably, I don't know, I don't build games, but kind of
yeah.
easily just grading the terrain and having it affect your running. Like I could see that being implemented.
Yeah, and I would like, some sort of parkour, like hurdling over objects, like, right, like just like a rock. Like if you had a rock in your way, I wish you could, like, at least, like, if you were to hold sprint and then hold A, for example, you could like automatically hurdle something.
Yeah.
Uh, like that. I don't know. Maybe that's like something that comes out of like Assassin's Creed. I know they do really well
Mhm.
with
Yeah.
parkour looking things. And but yeah, I just think the maneuvering in this is something that's really big with gamers. So just keep that in mind. I'm talking to the devs directly. Like, I know that's probably not in the priority, because you guys are really focused on Fortune and Esperanza. So I get that. But maneuverability
Yeah.
is huge. It's because we relate to our character, right? And if our character doesn't move smoothly and doesn't, like, take for instance, off the grid, like, that's everybody. That's the first thing everybody says. The maneuverability the quickness.
Well, they
And
complained it was slow, right? If I remember right, like that was the one
when you're
complaint.
not jetpacking and all that, you run. Yeah, that's the only part where it's a little bit slow, right? People didn't mention that. I mean, but the movement of running looks like natural. It looks smooth. It's same for like in this game, running looks smooth.
Yeah.
It does. I actually really like the animation for running. Running is perfect in this game. But in terms of the once you start walking, you do kind of give off this like robotic. Like I'm walking right now. It's very, I don't know. It's something with the legs, I think, and I don't know. There's something about it, but everybody will nitpick about it, right? But not every game's perfect anyway. So maybe this is could be Cornucopias' style, and I don't want to like nitpick too much on the movement,
Yeah.
but I think that's something that's everybody talks about in terms of gaming. It's how their character, which they relate to, is it's sort of like it represents them, right?
Yeah, I like the idea of like maybe choosing different gates, or maybe the size of your character having different gates too. But they,
Hmm.
I mean, definitely I think they're definitely aware of the avatar, uh, like optimization, like because I mean in the after Kopi party, even though I wasn't listening, I didn't hear that they had improved. I saw the Kopi party before I saw the episode. So and David said that they had improved the avatars, like graphics, and the first thing I noticed watching Rob play was the avatars looked better, like noticeably better in the new build that's coming. So
Yeah, I'm
I
excited to see that.
I feel like in every iteration they're probably going to have like minor like improvements. Like it's going to just be over time. They're going to just keep adding little nuances to the characters and making them, more lifelike, more realistic, because this world, this game is kind of evolved to the point now where when it's completed you're going to wonder, is it even really a game? Is it, you know, it's an MMO. Is it an MMO like life simulator more than it is an RPG, right? Because like there's so many little, like the eating and the energy and the needing to rest and like all the things that are going to come into play. It's almost more like a life simulator. Well, here we are. We're supposed to meet Eddy. We're
Yeah.
overlooking these couple land plots here. That's like the highest point of the city, town.
Yeah, this is really nice, and this is just like one of these one sections rows of houses. I haven't even gone up there yet. But the cool thing is with these section and this like row of houses or land plots here, you turn around and I was just like while we were just talking about everything with like movement and all that. I actually it's not that far away, but head up north here, and
Yeah,
here is
you
a
can
logging field.
already see the logging centers. I know that I've noticed in a lot of areas there are not a lot of land plots near logging centers. This
Yeah,
those land plots that we just saw might be the closest land plots to a logging center I've ever seen. Like it's, just a minute walk, not even.
yeah, that's actually pretty awesome. I'm gonna head over to the other houses, heading south. But
Okay.
yeah, what else did they talk about here?
So the other thing was the no more glimpse of solace. We kind of knew that was coming at some point,
Oh
because we
yes,
we have solace.
yeah,
It sounds like it's a haunted house. Like maybe there's going to be some kind of like events there, like games there. It reminds me of like the in World of Warcraft they would do like once a month or once every 3 months they would have like the I forget what it's called, but like the fair that would come through a town somewhere that had special
yeah.
events.
Yeah, like a haunted house, like where
Yeah.
yeah, like a circus that comes through and they use that land like yeah, no, I'm with you there. That
Maybe like
like
little
that
mini games inside to play. That's going to be really fun.
yeah, that's actually kind of smart way to use that section of Toledo. And it's I mean I can only I would hope that they'd be more stuff like with like more holiday things to come. I mean,
Yeah, like our
I think like
birthdays.
yeah, 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 like you can have birthday parties there. Uh, and a lot of people, not that everybody celebrates Halloween, but like a lot of people definitely celebrate stuff like Christmas and
Yeah,
on Hanukkah.
yeah, definitely. We'll do a holiday party there, and
Yeah.
then you know, a giving a thanks or giving a fear. But it definitely seems like they're leaning into like the Halloween. I mean, obviously David and Rob are pretty into Halloween. I mean,
Oh man.
Josh too, if his costume showed up. But like, they definitely you don't have costumes like that. Like if you're not into Halloween.
Right, exactly. Man, these land plots are interesting.
Yeah, they are interesting.
these might be. And I mean, personally, if you were to look for land plots here in Ivy Creek, I would think that this is more of a VIP section compared to like down below where the train station is. Just a heads up for people who are looking into Ivy Creek, because I mean, for one, you're closer to the the logging field, but it's just like the views, the location. I think it's just gonna be pristine. This is gonna be the luxury location of, I think,
Yeah,
in my opinion,
like the
of
VIP box at a football game.
yeah, exactly.
If you could have any them for like next Halloween, any costume that that you would want to be able to buy from a mint, what would the costume be? Is it something traditional, like you want to be like a goblin, or do you want to be like, I don't know, like a specific kind of character? What costume would you want?
Um, hmm.
Or maybe we can buy like Rob and Josh costumes as NFTs next year. We're all walking around.
Yeah, considering the theme of like farming and corn a lot, I kind of would think of like a scarecrow.
Oh yeah, that's a good
Yeah,
costume.
a scarecrow would be a good one, like a straw scarecrow. That's a scary one. You know.
I just have this idea to help Cornucopias make some more money. Like what they should do is they should next year they should memorialize Rob, David, and Josh's costumes, and we can all go buy them as NFTs. We can be Joker Rob. We can be what was David's costume? We could
Uh,
the fear Doctor Fear or something. We can be
yeah,
that, or we can be the painting guy. Um,
Bob
Bob
Ross.
Ross. Yeah, we can all buy those NFTs next year. We can be whatever they were the previous year. That there you go, guys. You can make a ton of money on that.
Actually, that would be kind of cool. I'm sure. You know, I was just looking at across the cliff here, and it's kind of cool because I didn't notice that there was a way up in terms of. I mean, I saw. It's funny because I saw the rows of homes over there, the land plots, but there is a steep path leading up there from where we were by the train station heading. So that's kind of interesting. So keep that in mind, people. I'll draw that out in the map as well in
Where's
terms of
it?
different paths.
I'm trying
You
to
can
see it.
look where I'm at, or if you see where I'm at, and just look across the cliff, and you look at the other side of the mountain. You can see that steep hill that gets that walks that path that goes up up the cliffside.
I do see
In
it.
order,
Is that like a path, or is that like a rock jump? Is that a way to?
yeah, no, that's a path. That's a straight path right there. You can see it.
Oh yeah, look at that. It is
Yeah,
kind of like a really.
that's so. Yeah, there's so keep that in mind, people, to get to those certain land plots. And I think there's only about like a half a dozen. One, two,
It's
three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine. There's like about 10 land plots on that flat land over there. So that's actually kind of interesting. Maybe that could be like a guild headquarters type of thing or something.
yeah.
Like
Overlooking, yeah, like if you
yeah,
wanted to monopolize this town, and that's where all your leadership is. I remember when
yeah.
I first came into Solace 3 and I thought, man, these canyons are stupid. There is no paths out of here. And now that we've been running around it, I realized that there are paths everywhere. I was just
Oh
too
yeah.
dumb to find them.
Yeah, you just gotta take some time to look around. But
Yeah.
man, I will say, like, be getting those homes. The one thing you'd have to consider is like resources, right? Like again, there's no mines in this area. That's the one thing that's very strange to me. I mean, again, maybe it's not finished. Maybe they're still adding more mines. Maybe the next build we'll see more. But that's the one thing so far that we have to like consider. And maybe we'll have an update on mine locations for Ivy Creek and Crystal Falls.
Back where we kind of started the episode, if you come over here, I feel like this grass over here is noticeably different as you're running towards it. Like it's almost like a different kind of grass on these hills, and this is why I was thinking that this might be like good farmland here, because you can, when you're far away, you can really see it. Um, but when you're getting closer to it, it doesn't look that different than the grass that all the other grass. So I don't know. I wonder if this is just flat land, if this is the same kind of earth. It's hard to tell.
Yeah. I mean, well, to me it looks similar.
Yeah,
But what do I know? For all I know, it definitely is different.
yeah,
I'm also curious if you can cut the grass, and
yeah.
how
Because there's
long
like
does it
bushes
grow?
and stuff on it. I wonder if you can, how much you can control, like you're right, like the agriculture on your land.
Hmm.
Like this little bush that I'm looking at right now. If I own, well, I guess that's not inside the land plot, but I mean, let's assume it was. If it was inside this land plot right here, could I cut it down? Um, could I mow these flowers down? I wonder how much of that there's going to be.
Yeah. Oh wow. I like the fact that I scan and I can see so many lamp. I see you over there too. I'm
Yeah,
like scanning across, and I see you. Oh, you just
I can
disappeared.
see you. I can just
And
see
then
a
I and
little you.
scan, and you can kind of see. I'm like every time I scan, I always try to picture like how the buildings would look and how alive the towns will be, and it's very cool. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie.
I
That's
mean, there's
very
whenever, especially when everyone builds their own unique buildings, and there's so many different types of buildings, and they're going to look different for each type of rarity. I think it's gonna be a really diverse, and then the buildings will be different levels too. They won't all be maxed out. It's gonna be a really diverse, like kind of like infrastructure. That's there's gonna be some redundancy, I'm sure, but it's not gonna be like it is, where there's just three different types of buildings, and they're all just kind of repeat each other in like some kind of sim or something like that.
Yeah, I think Ivy Creek is going to be a very popular location. Who knows if I'll buy one in this area or, but I will be visiting Ivy Creek. I will say that just because, well, for one, it's in the practically in the middle north section of Solace 3, but it is really nice. There is that separation of the towns with the towns in that valley here by the train station, but still, like this is really nice.
Yeah.
Holy hell.
Do you have Eddie? That's all the stuff that we had. Do you have any final thoughts for the episode today?
No, just well, yeah, no,
Yeah, I
yeah.
mean, no, yeah.
Uh,
I always got lots
the
of final
just the
thoughts.
night, yeah, the night's links, right? Just make sure
Yeah.
you go ahead and use the night's referral link in order to mint the assets that are they apparently they're going to announce the mints on Monday, is what they said on Copy Cafe.
By the time this is
Uh,
live, we might have already had the mints go off, started up.
yeah, exactly. It could be, or it could be the same day that this gets released. Definitely, I would. No, not financial advice, but I will say, I mean, with everything that's going on with Cardano and the fact that it's like this whole thing with like how it's like a partner chain with Bitcoin and with a lot more. I'm a lot more bullish on Cardano. I really do kind of stress people to mint on base because me personally, I just think people should hold ADA at this point. I think personally, I'm not getting it's not financial advice. Also think it's also to strengthen the
When
Kopi
you say
token on
hold
other
ADA,
chains.
you mean because not for like investing, because the project is so important, right? Like,
Yeah, just I think ADA is just in general is going to be valuable in the long run. That's just long term. I'm speculating here, obviously, but I think also it's also in order to strengthen the Kopi token as well. I think people should mint on base whenever they can. I'm going to try and mint on bases more frequently, but I think I can only speak for myself, I guess. In my opinion, I'm going to try and hold it as much as I can. I'm going to mint on base. I'm going to try and support the Kopi token on base. Stake on base as well. Stake on ETH. They have the stakings that are still going live, which you do get high rewards right now. Decent rewards. I think. Yeah, I mean, it's exciting times for games. I mean, I can't wait for it.
tis the
And
season.
I will say I'm really excited. They kind of hinted at like combat as well in between. Like, so I'm kind of curious if there's going to be guns out there, and maybe there will be quantum monsters out there too. So that's going to be very exciting. We might have more content
Yeah.
to provide, and maybe even stream a little bit. Who knows? We'll
Yeah,
see.
I'm excited. There's talk of in the Knights Guild of getting our Twitch channel started up. I know Alpha
Nice.
is going to be heading that up, I think, a little bit,
Oh
and
yeah.
she's going
Oh
to
yeah.
be, she's into that, and I'm looking forward to having like cross promotional stuff with being able to do Around the Corn and the Twitch channel and live streams and being participating in guild events, and just wanted to add, make sure you check out those proposals. The links are going to be for the videos are going to be in the description here. And if you can, it doesn't matter what guild you're in to support those proposals. That's not a guild thing. That is a Cardano thing, and it helps Cardano gaming. And we want a robust gaming system on Cardano. Lots of games, different types of games, because it strengthens the chain, and those people that are playing those other games on Cardano are going to come play Cornucopias, and then Cornucopias players will go play them. And it's all going to feed each other. That's what the Knights Guild is trying to pull off here with these infrastructural plans to help all gaming on Cardano, and they're really good ideas. So I encourage everyone to check it out.
It looks like you're doing
Am I doing
leaning back? You're
Yeah.
leaning back.
Eddie and I thank the Knights Guild for letting us be a part of their amazing community. Make sure you follow them and us on X. Use the links in the description to join their Discord and their website. Thank you to everyone on the Cornucopias team who's working hard. We know it's probably been disappointing that the mint was postponed, but almost all of us understand, you know, that this is hard. The work that you're doing is hard. Thank you to Rob, Josh, and David and everybody there. Finally, please subscribe to Around the Corn's YouTube channel so you don't miss next week's episode. Hopefully we will be in here celebrating the new build and geeking out over everything. Until then, Eddy and I will see you around the corn. Okay, I was 3, 2, 1. Eddy, did you the Knights Guild has, you know, really been pushing out the referral link here this week, and I know we're all a little disappointed that the mint didn't happen. Where'd you go?